What's up, everybody? Yes, indeed, man. I am back, man. You guys already know what time it is with this cat. I don't talk about it, I stay about it. But, anyways, man, today is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there, man. I mean, everybody. That title right there holds a really big responsibility. You know what I mean? Anybody can make a kid, but to stand up and be a father takes a lot. You know what I'm saying? I know there's going to be mixed thoughts about this because, we do have fathers that are doing all day behind them walls and people look at them differently. You know what I mean? And I'll touch on that a little bit too. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, happy Father's Day to everybody. Once again, this is a fitness channel. I normally start off talking about fitness, nutrition, or overall health in general. And I always got to give a shout out to my channel members. I really appreciate you guys. I really do, man. Another shout out to my subscribers, my followers, and even the Trollos, baby. You know what I mean? Hey, even happy Father's Day to the Trollos. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I said, man, to hold that title, it takes a lot of responsibility. You know what I mean? Like I said, anybody can make a baby, but to stand up and be that father requires a lot out of an individual. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I've raised my 5 boys. You know what I mean? Yeah, I admit, I did some wrong in my time where I've gotten taken from them more than once. You know what I mean? On more than one occasion. And that's time that I can't get back, man. But anyways, like I said, I will get to that. For now, if you want to get started on your fitness journey and start becoming that 10.5, shoot me a DM, man. I am a full-time online fitness coach. I have a blueprint to success. If you don't understand what you need to do, you shoot me a DM. My DM is high power fitness, high_power_fitness_, or you could email me at highpowerfitness@yahoo.com. Go ahead and leave a message requesting something about nutrition or fitness, and I will get back to you. You know what I'm saying? I'll help you become that 10.5, man. I'll help you break them limited beliefs. I'm a living example. You know what I mean? I grew up a certain way, not believing that I could achieve certain things in life, and I was able to overcome that stuff. And I'm going to tell you one thing: what was really keeping me back in the day, man, was the addictions and the vices and demons that I was suffering with. You know what I mean? It was it was the environment that I grew up in. You know what I mean? We weren't taught any better. We weren't guided. So my job today, man, is to try to teach the others, the youth, anybody that's struggling, that you can overcome them limited beliefs, because opportunity is out there for everybody, man. Hey, real quick, man, I need to remind you guys, especially if you guys are new to my channel, I do ramble on. A lot of times I don't stick to the subject. I'll bounce around, and that's what I do. You know what I mean? Because I got so many things that go through my mind. You know what I mean? It's crazy. You know what I mean? I always shoot from the hips. I don't have nothing scripted. I don't have nothing jotted down. But yeah, back to the fitness part, man. Like I said, if you want to get started, shoot me a DM or email me at highpowerfitness@yahoo.com. Check out my Instagram. My Instagram, I have way over 2 years of material of me working out at the gym, hitting the gym 2 o'clock in the morning, being consistent with it. It's not how extreme you go. It's all about consistency, people. When you have a structured workout plan with your nutrition dialed in, you'll get results, man. You'll get results a lot quicker than what you've been doing, because keep it real with yourself. You've been hitting the gym for year after year and you still look the same. You know what I mean? Some cats, man, they look terrible, and yeah, they do a lot of grunting and slamming the weights at the gym, but they ain't doing nothing but ego lifting. You know what I mean? They're doing more damage to their body than good, you know? So if you want to level up, man, shoot me that DM, man. You know what I mean? Guaranteed to work. A 3-month program, I'll educate you and provide you with the tools that you can apply this to your daily life, you know, and become that best version of yourself. That's what I do on a daily, man. You know, I'm never going to go backwards. I'm always going to keep pushing forward. Well, anyways, people, with that being said, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, put your notification bell and all, share this channel. Let's get it to 10,000 subscribers. That way I'll start doing lives, and on my lives I will interact with everybody. You know, I had to put that out there once again, you know what I mean? I'm growing, and I'm growing at the pace that I'm supposed to be growing at, you know what I mean? I'm not going to rush the process. I'm going to enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. It's the same thing like with my fitness program, you know what I mean? I want you to enjoy the journey, not regret the journey, you know what I'm saying? Because we all know what happens when you take the paths of less resistance. They usually have bad results, you know. I took them majority of my life, you know. I wish I was the person that I am today way back then. I'd be really, really doing big things, you know. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to cry about it. You know, I'm just going to keep on pushing forward and keep on striving for the best things of life now. You know what I mean? Well, anyways, to bring us back to the Father's Day, man, you know what I mean? Yeah, that title carries a lot of weight behind it. You know, anybody could claim that they're, you know, a dad, this and that. But to be a father, man, you got to be that guy that's going to be there supporting your family. You know what I mean? Day in, day out, no matter how hard or rough the fucking ocean gets. You know, eventually the sea will calm. You know, them swells will go from being 20-foot swells down to just a little wave, you know, and you just got to keep on pushing. Don't ever give up. You know, life isn't a bowl of cherries. As long as you're showing up day in, day out, your family will see that. They'll give you that recognition. You know, there's going to be points and times where you think that they don't appreciate things, but they do. They do, and they're especially going to appreciate them even more and realize that everything that you've done for them, you know, when you're no longer around, you know. And I say that from experience, you know, for myself, you know what I mean? I lost my parents a while back, and I seen everything that they've done for me. You know, back when I was younger, I didn't notice it. All they ever did was try to provide for me, and I took it for granted. You know, I made bad choices. It is what it is, but yeah, let's get back to the fatherly title, man. I know there's a lot of individuals that are doing time behind them walls and they may not ever get out. A lot of people will get bad titles on them, bad labels saying that they're unfit. They should have fucking thought about it before they did what they did. You got to keep in mind, I'd say over 95% of them individuals back there were probably suffering with the addictions and shit. They weren't seen clearly. You know, they suffered with diseases, you know, strung out on drugs, alcohol, you know what I mean? Different things, suffering with vices, demons. And at the end of the day, they got caught up in, you know, and yeah, they get back there and now they're living that sober life and they realize how fucked up they fucked up, you know what I mean? There's no correcting it because some of them guys are never going to come home, but it doesn't mean that they're a bad person, you know. Don't get me wrong. There is them certain individuals, man, that, like I said, I've done time with them that, yeah, some of them, they do righteously belong back there, you know. But for the most, every last individual that's back there, when they sit there behind them walls, we do a lot of thinking, you know. We took shit for granted. We lost it. And some of us will never be able to get it back. I was fortunate to be able to come back out because I had a date. And now, you know, like I said, I'm the best version of myself. But there's some individuals that'll never get out. And you got to keep in mind, that's their life back there now. So when you ever go visit them and you see that they're not overly joyed, and I'm not speaking for every last one of them, because as far as myself, I used to enjoy when I would get my visits from my family. But it was like the hardest thing to do, to depart again from them, you know, and I'm keeping it real. And then I would have to go from a certain way from visiting, because back when I would get visits, especially when I was up north, they were like 8-hour visits, you know. So we'd sit there all day, you know, and but when it would come time to depart, man, it was like losing my family all over again. So a lot of times I didn't really want my family to come visit me, man, because it made it really hard. Because, living behind them walls can be very treacherous. You know what I mean? Shit could happen just in a blink of an eye. You know what I mean? That whole yard could go erupt. And then you could find yourself either dead or with the new charge and doing all day. You're never promised to be released back to your family, especially when you go in there and you got a date. Now, individuals that go in there with no dates, it's a different story. It'd be like, what do you got to lose? You know what I'm saying? Except for like nowadays there's hope, man, because they've already released a lot of lifers, and my nephew happened to be one of them. He had a 45 years to life. He's a very how should I say, very professional, very humble person. He did so much time behind them walls, and I'm sure he has so many stories that he would share with me if I were to ask, but I'm not going to. Why? Because I could relate to a lot of the stuff that he's went through. Now he's out here in the real world, you know what I mean? So that life behind them walls should stay behind them walls. And well, anyways, people, I did ramble on a lot, didn't I? I'm all over the fucking place today. Today's a good day, man. I'm proud to say that I'm a father of 5 boys, 5 very, very good kids. They're all grown now, but they'll always be my boys no matter how old they are and how big they are. They're always going to be my babies. I'm proud of every last one of them. Every last one of them is different from one another, but they're all good kids, man. I thank God that they never followed my footsteps, So right there is a living example in itself too. You know what I mean? You can't point the fingers at your parents, because at the end of the day, you make your own decisions in life. You make your own bed, and when you make your own bed, you lay in it. And my boys, all very successful in everything that they do. 5 boys, man, that I'm very proud of. Well, anyways, people, with that being said, this video is going to be shorter than the norm. Happy Father's Day, man. If you guys want to get started on becoming that best version of yourself, like OG, 54. Let's just say I'm 55 now. I'm closer to 55 than I am to 54. Shoot me that DM, man. Or email me at highpowerfitness@yahoo.com. There ain't nothing to it but to do it, baby. You can't motherfucking talk about it. You got to be about it. Now, once again, thumbs up, thumbs down. Just make sure you hit that subscribe button, put your notification bell, and share this channel. That way we can start doing those lives, people. Now, with that being said, I got to go, baby. Let's do this.